Hey guys, welcome to the next episode in the USA. Sort of Let's Play on FM13. Now this is different. This is certainly different. I haven't done international management for a year now. Last one I think I did was Scotland, as I've mentioned in previous videos when we took them into Euro 2012. But now we're far into the future. We're into 2045, so we are hitting or joining at least the record that we managed to hit on FM12. If you were around back then, of course, you may remember I resigned, I think, or retired actually, in 2044 after I lost. Actually, I retired on a losing, on a losing foot, when of course Man City actually won the title. And I'm trying to think of was that a trophyless season? Go back and check for me. You do it. But yeah, at the end of the day, we are now back here in international management. Thought it'd be something different. I've got the World Cup coming up soon. We've also got the Gold Cup coming soon. Now, I'm going to talk about a few things, but we've also got the MLS thing here, which obviously I've just activated now, so obviously I could go USA. But this is how that looks. Obviously, the season's all skew with, so ignore all the MLS stuff. I'm going to go over the actual international stage right now. So let's go over. So this is 2045. That's 2044. So we basically started. I'm going to go over every single game. These aren't going to be 30-minute narratives. I just want to point that out. I'm sorry, but there's plenty. There's over 2 million minutes worth of footage on this channel. I'm sure you're not going to be slightly disgruntled by a lack of maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But we started, basically, the opening game was a 4-4 draw against Norway, and as you can see, we actually went undefeated for the entire year, which was absolutely made up by, especially when you consider the fact that we played some decent teams like Norway, who aren't actually that bad, as well as Portugal. But we start here in Norway, and we ended up actually getting a hat-trick hero through Stephen Henderson, who is a bit of a, well, I guess by international standards, a bit of a pensioner, 34 years old, but he just plays for Heerenveen. He's still going strong, and he managed to grab himself a hat-trick on my first game. So I'll show you this now. This was basically an opportunity for me to see who who's what, why I should play you, etc. And I certainly got a slight impact of certain players, especially a certain goalkeeper, as you'll see in a moment. Look out for certain players. I want to point out Manuel Zeno is a quality player, the lad who got the assist there. That's young John Meredith there. He's only young, he'll be certainly one for the future. Oh dear, Burrell, that's the captain as well. 33, I think he is, 33, 34. Not a particularly good stuff there from the goalkeeper. Oh well, I'm thinking, really, do we need that much age in a goalkeeper? I'd rather personally go for the younger one, and I think that is what I may do in the future. Obviously, I mean, you are limited. Obviously, it is FMC, so you are limited by the certain number of players that you have. That was just a nice goal for Norway. I'm not going to take anything away from them. That was just a really nice goal. I mean, bear in mind, it's a friendly. So I wasn't going crazy. It was like, okay, let me just see what's what, how the team's going to perform, and who the key players are, and stuff like that. That is all I was doing in this game, and the fact that obviously produced a 4-4, which actually managed to break the record for, I mean, what the fuck is going on there? Break the record for the highest scoring USA game, and you can see what I mean about the goalkeeper. I mean, he's never playing for me again. I don't care if he is the captain. I'm going to make a new captain. I'm going to make this guy, Dave Morgan, the captain. He's the highest valued player and probably the best player in this team. He is a very, very good player, and I really look forward to seeing what he can do. But here's Stephen Henderson, just sort of dances around them really, and that's back on level terms, a superb fight back. So yeah, I was really happy with that. And now we have these last couple of goals here. This is in the 83rd minute, I just want to point out. And I thought, well, it's a loss. I thought I was confined to this point saying it's going to be a loss, fair enough. But they fought very well. But no, we bounced back and actually got this here. This is Bennett here, who's a decent little player, right winger. Keller. I know there's obviously a Keller, but Stephen Henderson taking that one down. I'm not sure how much longer he is actually going to be in this team, since obviously he is 34. Whether he might make it to the World Cup or something. Don't forget also there's the sort of North American equivalent to Euro 2012, more like sort of the European Championship, and that is the Gold Cup. It combines all the what's the North American Gold Cup, and teams like that you'll see, for example, like Canada. Who else? I think Haiti are in there, like here, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Mexico. All these teams, obviously, there's that big American-Mexican rivalry, which I'm really excited about. Then we played Haiti, which wasn't particularly difficult, not exactly the hardest game in the world for us to start on, but we've got goals through Manuel Zeno, 2 for him, and 1 for, I think that was Hernandez, if the game ever wants to tell me. One thing I think is really interesting, a lot of people tend to overlook, and mainly because we come from Europe, or the most of us do. I know there are 1 or 2 North Americans in here. Maybe if you are American yourself, hello. But one thing we tend to not to take into account is the weather. Apart from perhaps when it's snowing. I mean, it does snow occasionally on the game, and you do have icy and stuff, and obviously you do. The only way that really impacts you most of the time is through the fact that you're playing with an orange ball. That is most of the time, but I think a lot of people seem to overlook sort of the weather. That's an interesting thing, otherwise what would be the point of it? It wouldn't be there if it meant something. So we're playing in very hot conditions here. We're in Haiti. I mean, that sort of part of the world is very, very hot, and there's a new goalkeeper, Papaleo, who's only young. He's not amazing, but he's certainly one for the future. He's only young still, and obviously goalkeepers can play for another. He could be potentially playing for another 20 years. But as I was saying, the weather's actually, I think, has some sort of effect on the conditions. I've not noticed anything really, or at least it hasn't jumped out at me. But I think if people should always remember to take the weather into account as well. For perhaps problems or injuries, for example. In the heat as well. I mean, it said 22 degrees, which, I mean, if you look in the top corner there's the actual weather for today. It's 21. It's a lovely day, and that's why you can probably hear the windows open. I do apologise, otherwise, if I close it, I will die. No, I will, seriously. I have heat exhaustion. No, but, so obviously, you can't compare Liverpool to Haiti. We don't obviously have the humidity. And I'm basically rambling at this point because of the highlights. Not the best game in the world, but they are quite entertaining to watch because, you are just on the side. So it's so obviously that you're going to win. You're on the side of going to win, which is good. And then my first home game was against Guatemala, and incidentally, I'm going to show you all the goals. Alan Hernandez, the original goal scorer there, was pretty impressive. He's a good little player. I think he's valued at about 7 million, I think. Obviously, I'm trying goalkeepers as well. Just want to point out a few players here. Here's number 9, Savage, good little player, Shane Savage. I do like him. Very handy little player to have. He can play on the wing as well as up front. A little bit inconsistent sometimes, but lovely work there from Manuel Zeno. That's just under 5 minutes gone. But we just about managed to squeeze through Guatemala. I wasn't expecting them to put up the fight, and I get the impression that we revel in that sort of underdog role, if you know what I mean. Like we did against Norway, we did a hell of a lot better, and hopefully, when we come to the Gold Cup, say we play Mexico, for example, who are much better, and I think USA currently are ranked, I think, 33rd. It was something like that. I think at this stage, at the start of 2045, they are ranked, I think, about in the mid 30s. Guatemala and all these are ranked in the 80s and beyond, higher than that probably. There's the top 2 in North America is Mexico and USA, and then next up is like, God, I don't know, where's next up? Probably like Jamaica in 1991. I mean, fair play. What a goal. What an unreal goal that is. And yeah, Guatemalan. But there in the end is Cameron. I think Cameron, he's only young. Debut goal for him. Imagine that happening in real life. Let's have a look at my Cameron. How old is he? He's 21. He plays for Real Salt Lake. I mean, he's not amazing, but I thought he'd be enough to take on Guatemala. And yeah, so we beat there, and we then play Portugal in a friendly, and Shane Savage, as you can see, getting on the score sheet again. Manuel Postiga, yes, there's obviously a Postiga. He actually plays for Liverpool, ironically. Didn't know that. Incidentally, I will also show you the Premier League. You won't believe who won. Um, and yeah, I'm just going to say there's an Aubrey. Scoring for, sorry, man of the match for Portugal there. But Shane Savage, as I say, scoring for us in Houston, Texas. I love some of the names of the American stadiums, like Lincoln Financial Field and the Industrial Park, and where else is there? Like Gillette Stadium, Giant Stadium. Some great names. Not like Anfield or Old Trafford or um, Stamford Bridge. No traditional names. It's all mad names and stuff. At this point in the game, I was given Papaleo the number 1 shirt. Obviously, I was waiting for other goalkeepers to develop. I mean, we are still a while away from the World Cup, so I was able to just see certain players. But a nice little ball here to Armando Reyes. I'll talk about in a moment. Good little young player, and it came there to Savage. So nice work. About 20 minutes to go. Maybe we could have won that. I mean, as you can see, we had more shots and on target. We had more possession, so I think we were kind of unlucky not to win that game. Also a day after my birthday. Yeah, I want to just go over this guy. Where's he gone? Sorry, that's the wrong one. Where is he? Armando Reyes. I've created a little backstory in my head for this guy, considering the name like Armando. Sort of, he's from the mean streets of, where's he from? Houston. And he's sort of like a Mario Balotelli character. In a way, the same way he's seen Mancini as his sort of father figure. In the same way, I think he'd do the same for me. Raise him up and create him to be a better footballer. I'm in his favoured personnel, which I was quite happy about. But this next game, now, probably the hardest properly competitive game so far. It's against Costa Rica. We were the top 2 in the group by an incredible margin. No one even got close to us, and probably don't in real life. But obviously, this was the first real test for this team. Wanted to see where they were, where the team lied in quality, and want to see if these guys can actually step up to the plate. And I think that is pretty much what happened. Obviously, when we got the win, it was a little bit cagey, a little bit tense, but we overall did get the win, and that's what matters. Nice little dancing work again from Manuel Zeno. I love that name, brilliant name. And he put his 1-0 up inside 10 minutes, and then got this one here is Williams, another little decent play. He's on the fringes. He does come in occasionally. There are, obviously, the thing is at the moment I can't really say who is definitely going to be in the team for 1, the Gold Cup, and 2, the World Cup, because the World Cup's a year and a half away, and we're still still obviously waiting to see who comes in. But there's Miranda, who knocks it in to give his first goal for the USA and does the victory. So I think with this victory, I think we've had a couple more games here. You've got Guatemala, Steve Campbell scoring. He's a good little player. Reyes getting his goal, and also Mario Suarez scoring. I'll show you these in quick. I'll show you these goals. They also got 2, which provided an interesting game, or at least an entertaining game. But as I say, the squad, obviously, it's not necessarily, I want to say it's in transition, but I'm giving everyone, almost everyone, a chance. Instantly, I'm using the same tactic I've been using with Celtic, and I did with Roma, and I did with Dortmund, or at least the one I created at Dortmund, and it does seem to be working. Okay, we are playing the likes of Guatemala, Haiti and Costa Rica, but they got us decent draws in a non-competitive game against a decent Norway team and against a good Portugal team. So I'm still quite hopeful, and it does appear to at least be working in the Celtic save, and obviously it did give me some success, some reasonable amount of success at Dortmund, and I'm just going to ignore, as I said in the last episode, the Rome blip, because that was a blip. It was. But I just want to point out say a few things about the Gold Cup. I was considering doing that live, but the problem is the games really won't be that great. Lovely header there from Campbell, because the quality again of the teams aren't great. Costa Rica are not actually sending a team. Well, they are. Well, actually, no, sorry. A senior team, they're actually sending their B team because they're in the Confederations Cup, because they won it last time. America hasn't won it since 2029. A freak goal there for Rodriguez. It calls it an incisive breakaway, but at the same time, he didn't mean it. Okay. But as I say, I think our group is Canada, Costa Rica B, and Grenada. Grenada. The Spanish team, isn't it? Grenada. So, and Costa Rica being Canada, not exactly the hardest group in the world, and then we're probably going to end up playing someone like Haiti or Jamaica or someone like that in the quarters, and then we, terrible goal to concede there. Um, and yeah, you know what I mean. So it's not exactly difficult. Chances are, and I'm not just saying this because I know or anything. This is just a total guess at this stage, that we are probably going to be playing Mexico or possibly, I'm trying to think of else. Bear in mind it's North America. There's no South America in it. Who else could we be playing? Maybe Guatemala, possibly, if they get their act together. I don't know, but chances are it will probably be Mexico. Now, if you are watching the video, and if you're more of an eagle-eyed viewer, you may have noticed that the time in the right-hand corner there, or top right, or my voice possibly, has slightly changed, and that's because I've done the video in two parts. Mainly because I was interrupted in the last video and didn't really feel like doing 15 or 16 minutes worth of voiceovers again whilst watching through all these highlights, because there's a lot of goals there, so I do apologise, but yeah, sorry. Hopefully it hasn't detracted too much. But big deal. It's a reviews show. It's not going to break the fourth wall, is it? Now, next game that was against Haiti, and now you can get an idea of where the goals are going to come from, who the goal scorers are. You can get Manuel with two, excuse me, Savage and Turner with the goals. So we'll have a look at this now. Also forwarded it slightly, 12 hours, to stop it from lagging, or I don't know. I don't know why it does it. Sometimes certain times, like if it's at a certain time or on a certain day or whatever, like if it's, I think what happens is at the end of every day, like the cache is cleared or something. Think of it like that. I don't think it's literally a cache, but I think you know what I mean. Think of it like doing something like that. That's all I can honestly say. But this is against Haiti here. Really, nothing in this one. It was in America as well, so it was not. We were not going to lose this one. Hopefully, anyway. It was potential banana skin, but really after 9 minutes, Scott Turner scored there, and that really just settled any nerves down. I love how I'm also sort of referring to the World Cup on this as sort of like we're getting there already. Now, we are absolutely not guaranteed to get into the World Cup. I just want to say that. Yes, we are going to be playing some duff teams, like probably Guatemala and Haiti, and probably one of the Caribbean teams, like Grenada, or not Grenada, what they call Grenada, or Jamaica or someone. But, has there ever been a time when in Mexico, if any North American viewers can help us out here if you know, has there ever been a time where Mexico and America have never qualified from their World Cup qualifying groups, the actual phase, like the last phase, because I can't imagine that's happened too often or ever, to be honest, because I know America have never really been great, but they're getting there. They've always been, I imagine they've probably been more of the second dominant force behind Mexico. So as I say, I've been researching the whole Mexico-American rivalry. It's fascinating. It's not quite England, Germany, or Germany, Holland, or England, Argentina, or who hate each other, or England, Scotland. These are the only ones I know. I don't really name too many more international rivalries other than the obvious ones. But lovely goal there from Manuel. I love as well how you can play the Azteca as well. It's fascinating because of the how high up it is. It's fascinating. Anyway, last game here, probably the hardest one in the group. We saved the hardest till last, and we still won, thankfully. 2-0 at Costa Rica, which was very nice. So we managed to completely top the group, I think. Did we? Yes, we did. Of course we did. Need to reimburse that to my mind. So yeah, Savage and Bradley scoring. Now, I love how there's always an American called Bradley. There just has to be. It's like sort of... it's like has to be in there. We've got Bob Bradley, and I think we've got... What's his kid called now? Plays for Roma. Forgotten. But yeah, Savage there once again with a goal after 7 minutes. That really settled down any nerves. One thing as well is I love how you can tell that it's hot, or it's giving the impression that it's a hot day or it's a humid or whatever by the pitch. It's not green. It's just sort of yellowy. I don't know. What's the when grass gets really dry and hot. And it sort of looks like that. That is basically Football Manager telling you that it's a hot day. As I say, whether weather does actually impact on the game, I don't know. Whether obviously it saps condition more or something. But yeah, there's Bradley with a nice goal there to finish it off. So we are actually gone undefeated in the year 2044. I can't actually believe that myself. A few people asking now in previous videos for like a sort of review of my manager sort of history. I don't want to do that yet. I want to at least wait until, well, at the very least, wait until the USA ends. tell you what, yeah, I'll do it after I finish here in America, okay, whenever that is, whether that's in the end of this year or next year, 2046, obviously there's the World Cup to come. But I will do it, honestly, I will do it, so don't start yelling at me too much. But honestly, it is coming, but I want to do it at a time that is fair, because what could happen here? I mean, a lot of people have been asking me to do it in the Dortmund save. Now, if I'd shown you it in Dortmund save, and say the win percentage, I can't remember what it is exactly, but say if I'd showed you it and the win percentage is say 60% across 3,000 games, or however many you've played, then that's fine. But then you go to America and say next year I have a real difficult year, it's going to drop. I mean, oh, okay, yeah, here's the teams we're playing. It. This is the fourth phase, which we'll have a review of for next year. So the next video will be a review of this year. Hopefully we will have qualified. So just to give you an idea of how it works, you've got the top three qualifying automatically, and then fourth qualifying going into a playoff with actually some rules here. Let's see, yes, so there's 10 games, play each other twice. Top three teams qualify for World Cup, and the fourth one, it doesn't actually say here, but if you finish fourth, you go into a playoff with, if I just go back to the other year, this is the fourth phase, and then North American qualifying section. So basically what happens is you play then against the team from South America. So there's going to be one South American team in there, similar little playoff role. They'll have a sort of playoff position. Oceania, with their obviously New Zealand, and Asia, there's Asia and the Caribbean, I guess. Yeah, the Caribbean one. I don't know why Jamaica. Why Jamaica and ours? I don't know, but yeah. So these are teams. So Costa Rica are going to be joining us. We've proven that we can beat them. El Salvador, I can't exactly imagine they're going to be too hard. Honduras could beat us. But they can. But really should be beating them. Jamaica really should not be losing to them. If we do, I'll be very, very embarrassed. Mexico probably going to be the hardest in the group, and obviously comes us. So yeah, doable, definitely doable. So that's going to do it from me, I think, then, for this USA League. I will see you next time then at the end of the year in 2045.